So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So the New Year Sugo-Fest download just dropped, together with future events. Okay, I'll show the events first. We're going to have a blitz battle, probably after Christmas, against Black Maria. And we also have a point farming event against Kaido. There's also going to be a free-to-play Luffy unit, but I don't know how we get him yet. As well as the One Piece Odyssey audio character that has been added. We'll look at them in a future video. But yeah, let's take a look at the Sugos first. It's going to be 4 parts. The new legends are Super Sugo-Fest exclusive Nami, Super Sugo-Fest exclusive Robin in her demon form, Super Sugo-Fest exclusive Kaido versus Yamato. Indeed, we finally have a new versus legend and the first Super Sugo-Fest versus legend. And we have a part 1 as well with all of them together. And part 1 is actually good this time. It's like an anniversary part 1. Like we have a lot of guaranteed legend steps. This will probably be all legends, I imagine. There's some rate booster steps. And there's a Super Sugo-Fest only step on the 20th. 23rd has that 50% chance of Sugo rare character. That's the same as in anniversary, I think. And of course, if you get the final one, you get a guaranteed new Super Sugo-Fest only character. So I will most likely start with doing 30 multis on part 1, and we take it from there, I guess. The other parts are pretty standard though. Some limited pools, some guaranteed legends. We have the super limited pools. And of course, if you go to the 30th multi, you get the guaranteed new legend, 1 copy of them. So yeah, of course we don't really have the legend pools yet, but I imagine that as usual on part 1, Super Sugo-Fest won't really be boosted, but all available. While on the other parts we will have some extra boosted, like on part 2 here we see Kid and Super Tandem Luffy. On part 3 we have OG Yamato and Super Tandem Kaido. And on part 4 we have the Luffy crew and Yamato Ace. So yeah, let's take a look at the new characters. Oh yeah, we also have a Roger Super Sugo-Fest because he's getting a 6+. I've actually not looked at 6+ Roger yet, so I guess we'll do it at the end of the video. But yeah, you shouldn't pull on here. Anyway, let's take a look at the new characters. We can take a quick look at the rare recruits. They are okay. Both Zoro and Sanji have CD reducing sailors, which fits nicely with their low CD specials, so you can use them faster. Sanji also says also to tandem at the beginning of the quest, which is very good, of course. He does some damage, some utility, locks orbs. You know I like my orb locks. 2.25 times attack boost for fight and free spirit. And you can also buff and extend attack boost if you already have one, which is some nice utility. If a Psi fighter uses an attack boost, you get a matching orb and buff the attack boost by plus 0.1. So if you were doing a 3 times attack boost, it becomes a 3.1 times attack boost. So just some nice potential extra damage. The recruit Zoro is very similar. You can start with the support because it's basically the same as Sanji, but quick slasher. So when a quick slasher uses an orb boosting special, you can get a matching orb and buff it by plus 0.1. As for the sailors, Zoro can also reduce his CD, and he's also 10 CD, and reduces his special reverse. And he also reduces CD with his special, and also has other utility, does damage, orb boost for slasher and free spirit. And it can also buff and extend existing orb boost, which will probably be the main use, I feel, but we'll see. Like this extension and buff is very nice because if we take something like Yamato Ace, who can do a 2 turns, 2.75 times attack boost, you can turn it into a 3 turn, 3.05 times attack boost, for example, which is very dope. You can use it on 2 stages and such. Anyway, let's get into the Super Sugo-Fest exclusive legends, and I must say, they have gone all out here. These 3 legends are crazy. I won't go super in-depth in this video. We'll save that. I'll go through each legend in a separate video. But let's take a first glance at the legends. I'm also going to be double checking the Japanese text to see if any of the ambiguities are clear, because there's a lot of things we don't really understand yet. Nami, Sai, Striker, Free Spirit. So people were hoping for the cerebral Nami here since she was confirmed to be Sai, but nope. LSM, Grand Voyage continues to elude us. Nami does have a super tandem as well, which we will check out. She also has unchangeable, impossible orb resistance, which is slot change is impossible, I should say, which is pretty niche, but all right then. Captain ability, Nami herself gets -3 CD, crew gets -1 CD, Sai Striker Free Spirit gets 5.25 times attack minimum, up to 5.5 times. Basically, specials like this usually means that first attack is 5.25 times, after that is 5.5 times. Sometimes it can stagger from 5.25 up to 5.5, but I feel like it's unlikely when it's so tight to each other. Anyway, 1.3 times HP makes Sai recover tandem slots have matching slot effects. Greatly boosts crew's chance of landing on tandem slots. That's actually really nice, because if you use double Nami with both of them having greatly, you're basically guaranteed to get super tandem, but the super tandem is actually only for final stage, I think it was, so that makes it a bit more meh. But basically you have a good chance of getting matching slots at least. If crew is inflicted with paralysis, completely removes the paralysis duration and reduces character's CD by the number of turns reduced. So if you get 50 turns of paralysis, this can happen against Offer 2, by the way. I can't wait to use them against Offer 2, because you'll see what her special does. So if you get those 50 times of paralysis against Offer 2, if you stall stage 8, Nami removes all of them and reduces her own CD by 50. And the crazy thing is that she actually can reduce her CD by 50. She can go above her limit. What I feel is interesting with this is, like, yes, we can go above the limit, but I presume that when we use the special, we still use up all of the charge, because otherwise you could just keep spamming the special to reduce CD, as you see that she can do. But yeah, this is actually crazy if you see the whole special. So she reduces CD by 1, reduces damage reduction and resilience by 7. These 200 times charge attack in non-type damage to all enemies, so that's some pretty good damage. Applies paralysis to all enemies for 3 turns, ignoring immunity to status effects. I didn't realize it ignored immunity, that's pretty cool. And the 75% chance to not attack, that can be pretty wild to stall with potentially. Will be fun to try out. Boost chain multiplier by plus 1.5 minimum. As said, she can stack her CD, so if you stack it high enough, you can get as high as 2.5 times chain boost. I think you have to go 50 above the maximum, so Nami has 12 CD, so if you get her CD to 62, it sounds crazy to say, but yeah, 62. She can do a 2.5 times chain boost, by far the biggest in the game. And she also does a plus 1250 base attack boost to Sai, Striker, and Free Spirit. And it can go up to 3000, also the max highest in the game so far. So yeah, pretty wild. Like in a vacuum, it's not super strong, I guess. Like, yeah, she has big chain boost and a pretty good base attack. But of course, to get the full value of Nami, you need some way to go above the special limit. And it will just be interesting to see how this mechanic works in practice. I really look forward to that. Nami is a super striker. And you need a straw hat or Yamato, or you need to use 4 special, so very easy to use this one. This 1 times character attack in non-type damage to all enemies, ignoring all defensive effects and death. That's pretty nice. It reduces damage threshold by 5 turns, so with her special you can remove both threshold and damage reduction, which is very good. Changes character slots, including block, to tandem. Boosts damage dealt to enemies affected by paralysis by 2.25 times for 1 turn. Oh, actually, I realized that I forgot to check her superclass before, so I didn't realize she had a self-proccing paralysis conditional. It makes a lot of sense when we look at what Robin does later, but yeah, this Nami is completely busted to say the least. Like with her special and superclass together, you get big chain boost, big base attack boost. Both of them can go even higher. And you also have a guaranteed paralysis conditional 2.25 times. Yeah. Whew. As well as good utility. She also has a super tandem. And you can get a 2.25 times attack boost to Striker and Free Spirit. And you increase crew's damage up effects by plus 0.5 for 1 turn. And here I'm like, do they mean every single damage buffing special? Do they mean that if you do the super tandem, do you get a buff of plus 0.5 times to your color affinity, attack boost, or boost, conditionals? Like, that sounds insane. Like, we need to see. I'm going to check what it says on the JPC side as well, but yeah, that sounds super strong for sure. And a very big tandem attack boost as well. Yeah, it's like, whew. Yeah, we're off to a big start here. Her support is also amazing. If you get paralysis, you reduce it by 1 turn, and you get a crew-wide -1 CD. I can't even begin to explain why that's valuable. Like, already one of the best supports just because of that. Just free crew-wide CD reduction. Godlike. Let's go on with Robin, so this video doesn't become like 30 minutes. But yeah, as said, I'm going to talk more about every single legend here in future videos before the Sugo drops. Robin, quick, cerebral, free spirit. Shall I talk PvP? I can show PvP at least, but I'm not super hyped by it. I noticed that Nami is not the best in PvP. I don't really rate her. Robin looks a bit more promising, but yeah, here you can see it at least. I might talk about it in my Nami video later, but for now, let's talk about Robin. Quick, cerebral, free spirit. She has a super class for cerebral and a final tap. So, Robin, Call of a Friend. Reduces CD by 1 turn, boosts quick cerebral and free spirit characters attack by 5.25 times, HP by 1.25 times. If you use a special to boost damage dealt to enemies with a specific status effect, basically if you do a conditional attack boost, delay, paralysis like Nami, poison, death down, something like that, you extend the duration of that damage boost by 1 turn. If character uses her special, you change to the following captain ability for 3 turns. You're now a 5.5 times attack booster, and you reduce damage by 30%. But yeah, I feel it's a little bit weird because it says you need to use a special to boost damage, but you figure this could be used with Nami, but Nami is a superclass special, so it wouldn't be extended, so yeah. Still some pretty unique, nice utility, but all in all, it's a bit more of a bland captain ability. What's not bland though is Robin's special, which is super nuts. 20% HP cut, ignoring all defensive effects. If captain is cerebral, like Robin herself potentially. Allows crew to stack up to 2 different damage boosting effects. Cannot stack the damage boost of the same type for 3 turns. So our best guess for what this means is conditional buff. So as you will see later, Robin does the conditional buff. Nami does the paralysis conditional buff. So with Robin's special, you should be allowed to get both Robin's conditional buff and Nami's paralysis conditional buff. Which I don't think I need to explain how amazing that is. Like, that's just too good, really. Like, it's basically another attack boost stack you can add to Super Boss Kizuna to do like Like imagine in Super Boss Kizuna we can do 40 billion damage max now. Add another buff to stack on that, you just double the damage to like 80 billion, for example. Yeah, it's pretty insane. And if captain is a free spirit class, you can also stack. It seems to be the same, it's just as Cerebro can do for 3 turns and free spirit for 1 turn. Boost damage dealt to death down enemies by 2.25 times for 2 turns. 3 turns with her captain ability. And reduces all enemies' death by 80% for 1 turn if they have immunity to death down or full immunity. So yeah, she also has conditional true full immunity, and if not full immunity, she can do the death down reduction for 2 turns instead of 1. But yeah, yeah, this is a very unique and incredible powerful mechanic. Robin will see use in like every super boss now if possible. And I will say though that for normal content, this is a lot more niche. This is very Super Boss Kizuna oriented character. Not the most useful for normal content, I'd say. I forgot to check sailors a bit. Yeah, this is an amazing sailor. I love those. The wives also have that sailor, the Annie wife legend. Here, you need any of the Straw Hats, or Yamato, or Sabo, or Koala for the super class. -1 CD. I love when you have that in the super specials. Buffs or boost by a further plus 0.25 times. Otherwise, I guess, gives a 2.5 times quick cerebral free spirit or boost. And changes the cerebral characters to super cerebral, so yeah. Not bad, but not as exciting as Nami's, I'd say. But we take more seed reducing super specials. Final tap, super bland. Final battle, and you need the same as for the super class. You basically have the same as Yamato. Yamato versus, no, I mean Uta. 2.25 times. I think Uta does some orb change as well, but for Robin, just extra damage. Very bland, very boring, not bad, but just bland. Pretty disappointing. Support. Can support all the same as her super class condition. The support character is a special to boost damage dealt to enemies with a specific status effect, as plus 0.2 to the damage boost. Yeah, very cool. Like if we take, for example, Yamato, we have the Yamato and Ace unit who does burn conditional, and it's like 2.25 times, I think, or 2.5. I don't remember exactly. Maybe even 2 times. But yeah, you just make it stronger. So nice extra damage that you might maybe not get otherwise. And I must say that Robin's sprite, yeah, that's like one of the best in the game, period. That's amazing. Robin's rumble ability is actually really good. But I feel like her special makes her not that viable. Has a small chance of 8% chance of doing HP cut, 20%, not the best. And she can also do paralysis, death and attack down. Like, this should have been 18 CT in my opinion. In that case, Robin could maybe have been good. I don't really see her being that great now. Final unit, Kaido versus Yamato, and this is just incredible. Yeah, this is an absurd unit. Forgive me for not being able to talk about this. I don't see a way to view what Kaido does, what Yamato does. We'll save that for a future video, I guess. As said, going to talk about all legends again in specific videos. This is more like oh, I didn't realize that this button was here. I'm so dumb. So now I can finally check the super tandem and final tap. I don't know why I thought that this button wasn't here. I don't know. I feel stupid now. Anyway, let's jump into it. Kaido and Yamato. Let's talk about Kaido first. Striker-driven int. So pretty standard Kaido classes, but of course int is a first. Striker and driven get 1.5 times HP, 5.5 times attack with matching orbs, 5.25 times otherwise, makes in tandem slots have matching slot effects, makes cruise recovery slots into Wano slots, reduces character special reverse, special bind duration by 10 turns, and if crew uses special boost attack, slot effects, or type effects on normal attacks, adds plus 0.25 to the boost. So you just free extra damage to all attack, orb, and color affinity boosts. And you can stack it. So we talked about Nami before, how she can add plus 0.5 to all damage buffs, potentially. That will stack with this. So with Nami, it becomes like plus 0.75 times. So a 3 times attack boost becomes a 3.75 times attack boost, for example, which is pretty insane. I just want to check something because when I looked here, yeah, it's 5.5 times here as well. Oh, it was Yamato who was 5.75 times. My bad. I thought it was Kaido. Special, remove all beneficial effects placed on the crew, and after losing this special, you can only use 2 more specials. If similar effect is stacked, the number of times reduces to 0. And I think this is interesting because I feel like usually they specify this turn, but this sounds like final, like after you use this special for this content, you can only use 2 more specials. It sounds like that. We'll see if that's the case. Reduces crew's special charge time by 20 turns. That's just like, what the... That's just unheard of, like that's insane. Changes left column slots, including block slots, to tandem. Changes right column slots, including block slots, to Wano. Boost striker and driven character slot effects by 3.25 times for 2 turns. And booster attack by 3 times for 2 turns. Whew. And as said, with Kaido, you get those buffed to 3.5 times attack and 3.25 times orbs. So, very high buffs. And yeah, the thing is that Kaido himself resists special reverse, special bind, so he can always use these, and he can also use this to counter special reverse for the crew. Special bind is a bit harder to use more specials, but yeah, he's an amazing special reverse blocker, of course. I do feel like, considering how OP this is, it does mean that you can only use 2 more specials this quest if you use this special. Otherwise, it's completely broken. So I can't see that happening, but strong enough as is for sure. He also resists special reverse by 10 turns. Wow, 3 matching slots. That's pretty bonkers. Let's see the versus effect. So Kaido and Yamato need to use Wano and tandem orbs. This 500 times character attack in non-target damage to all enemies at end of turn for 2 turns. Yeah, that's super useful. The first versus Kaido, this is like V2 versus Kaido, is also able to do end of turn damage. So that can let you bypass resilience and such, very useful. And it's a big end of turn damage as well. And you also do increased damage taken by 1.5 times for 2 turns, and this ignores immunity to status effects. So kind of like the Super Sugo-Fest law we had back in only 2 years ago, the Dex one, also goes through full immunity. So Kaido has a final tap, and I've not looked at this final tap. So basically, you can have both final tap and super tandem. So imagine that if you can, this is the same one, so you can feed both super tandem and final tap tablets to max it out. So Kaido is final battle. Boost character base attack by plus 2,250 for 1 turn. Stacked with effects from special. This feels like a balloon popping. Like, that was not very exciting. Like, it's a good base attack boost, but yeah, that was a whimper. That was disappointing. Anyway, super incredibly strong unit, of course. Let's check Yamato now. They are very different, by the way. Boost striker and free spirit carries HP by 1.3 times. Boost your attack by approximately 5.75 times when slots match, 5.5 times otherwise. Makes your tandem slots have matching slot effects. Boosts crew's chance of landing on tandem slots. And reduces crew's despair duration by 10 turns. So yeah, kind of like Nami, you have an easier time getting tandem orbs, but not as much. But it does mean that hybriding up Yamato with Nami is pretty good. You get a lot of Tranimals for free, and Yamato of course resists the spear, which is always very useful. First 5.75 times attack buff in the game, by the way, which I think is fair because versus characters don't have any super class or super type specials to add extra damage. Special, like Kaido, you change right column to tandem, left column to Wano. Kaido maybe flip that, I don't know, doesn't really matter. Boost striker and free spirit characters attack by 3 times for 1 turn. And here's when it gets complicated. It looks like Yamato has a new mechanic. If captain is a striker or free spirit class, boost crew's attack based on the damage reduction effect applied on the crew. So if you have an 80% damage reduction, you get 1.8 times attack boost for 3 turns. And then it goes on to say, if crew has damage reduction effect based attack boosting effect, this is basically what we just read, the thing that when you have a damage reduction and use Yamato special, you get an attack boost. So the best way I have to describe this, my guess, is that this is a new type of conditional buff. So it's a conditional buff, but it's not conditional on the enemy, it's conditional of what you have on the crew. I think it's pretty funny because I talked with my OPTC friend Antonin the other day, and he had a similar idea of getting a conditional buff based on your own team. So it's pretty funny that we got it in the game now as well. If crew, if you already have this, so basically if you used Yamato special already, you get the damage reduction attack up. You can also get an ore boost for striker and free spirit for 1 turn. So basically the only way to get that ore boost is to use 2 Yamato specials in 1 turn, because it's the only way to get that particular buff in the game right now. You also reduces damage taken by 80% for 1 turn. I don't get that, because to get the damage reducing attack buff, you need to already have damage reduction. And the only way to get that ore boost is if you already have damage reduction. So how can you add more damage reduction? Like, I might be misunderstanding things, but that just breaks my brain a bit. Like Kaido, Yamato is 10, 1 or tandem orbs. 60% damage reduction for 2 turns, makes tandem slots have matching slot effects for 2 turns, changes the attack multiplier of tandem to 2.25 times, which is a small buff. So basically the main thing here is making getting the damage reduction. The extra damage to tandem is a small little boost. Tandem orbs is a bit whatever. It's very hard to build a team without getting matching tandem orbs when you have the whale ship and everything. But getting the matching slot effect buff visible is pretty good though, because then you can stop negative orb debuffs. So not bad at all. So yeah, we take those. So let's see Yamato's super tandem. I have not looked at this yet, so this will be exciting. You need any of the Mugis, Ace, or Momo, makes sense. 2.25 times attack boost for striker and free spirit for 1 turn, and applies increased damage taken status to all enemies by 1.3 times for 1 turn, ignoring immunity to status effects. So yeah, that's pretty good, only for final battle though, so it's not the most exciting one, but I'd say like if you compare it Nami is probably more valuable if it works like we think, but yeah, sure, it's alright. Rumble, I've actually not really looked at Rumble yet for Yamato. Let's just take a quick look because I'm pretty tired of talking now, so. Looks interesting at least. I'll analyze this later. Yeah, probably decent. And let's look at Kaido too, I guess, before we end the video. That looks exactly like the last Kaido. Jeez. Wow, he can revive himself. Yeah, that will be useful. Depends on the special, of course, if he's worth using. Okay, yeah, he's probably worth using. So Int Driven got another buff. exactly what they needed. Not. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I'll be back with more analysis of these incredible Super Sugo-Fest units later. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.